And the audio is wrong. Oh my god. I've never been this nervous. That's a lot. Hello guys, what is going on? Welcome to the first episode of In the Meantime with Dylan Melanson. I'm your host, Dylan Melanson. It's great to see you guys here, although I can't really see you. This is the podcast. I can't believe I'm actually starting a podcast. Jesus Christ. I've been wanting to do a podcast for years now, and I'm going to get into that. But before I do, I just want to talk about some general things. This podcast is probably going to be a weekly thing. The name, I don't know. In the meantime, just kind of what I came up with. And I don't mind it. I think it's fine, but who knows. This is going to be a lot of rambling, I think, on this podcast, but that's kind of the point. It's kind of to replace the shitpost videos that I make, which are good videos. It's just, I think, if I put it in a podcast form, maybe it can be entertaining. The shitpost is entertaining, I think, but, like, you know what I mean. It's going to be more entertaining in a podcast form, I believe. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to be on a bunch of platforms with this podcast. By a bunch, I mean probably like 3 tops. We got YouTube, which is going to be the visual podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me. How you doing? Nice to see you. If you're watching this on, or listening to this on Podbean, then you can hear me. So you can't see me. So I'm being really nice to the camera right now for the people on Podbean. I'm definitely not flipping the camera off. Where else could you be watching this or listening to this? I think that might be it. I thought about SoundCloud, but like I'm probably not gonna do that. But who knows? Maybe this is on SoundCloud too. I don't know. I might test the waters. I'm not sure. I just kind of want to be out there, but I don't know if I want to be too out there. I just want it to be kind of. I'll probably put it on Facebook too. Probably. I honestly have no idea, but we'll see. Anywho. I know YouTube and Podbean for sure are the ones I'm going with because I like Podbean, I like YouTube. Well, I don't like YouTube. YouTube really, really sucks, but you get the idea. I use it as a platform because it's the most popular video streaming service on the planet, excluding things like Netflix, which is for something completely different. Yeah, so this is In the Meantime. This is going to be awesome. I'm actually really excited. I have no idea how long this podcast is going to go. I have some notes written, but I know I'm kind of going to branch off into different stories and things, which is really just what I do. And I do have a script here, which I'm going to pull up, and I'm going to show briefly to the camera without them really being able to read it. And you can hear right now some ASMR for you, some, the page turning ASMR like that. Yeah, ASMR right there. This is how we're going to start this podcast. We're going to talk about, like I mentioned earlier, that I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time. And trust me, with wanting to do a podcast, there's been many failed attempts at podcasts. And these go all the way back to like 2011, I think, because when I was a kid, around 12 years old, I used to always listen to the fucking Art of Wrestling podcast. No, it wouldn't have been 2011, it would have been like 2012. I was like 11, 12 years old, like around there. I used to listen to the Art of Wrestling podcast all the time with Colt Cabana. Not with him, he's the one that hosts the podcast. He still does to this day, but they're not the same as they used to be, so I don't like them as much. I still listen to them occasionally though, because I do think he still tells good stories and whatever, but it's just not the same as it used to be. And I still have like a lot of the old episodes downloaded. Anywho, I used to watch that a lot when I was like 12. The first episode I listened to was the Daniel Bryan episode, and that was like the newest episode at the time, and it came out like the day before my birthday. And I was like, hey, Daniel Bryan, hey, day before my birthday. we're gonna listen to this. So I used to listen to the Art of Wrestling podcast like every night in the bathtub. Weirdly enough, not like I'm just taking a bath listening to a podcast. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's just what I did. I was listening to a podcast, and I started with the Daniel Bryan one, and I learned a lot of stuff about that. I learned a lot of stuff about Daniel Bryan too, and I learned a lot of stuff about the Indies in that podcast. Because before that, I didn't know anything about the Indies. I knew like a little bit about Kevin Steen, and like a little bit about El Generico, because I watched Final Battle 2012 and saw their amazing ladder war. I can't fucking speak. I'm going to turn my volume down because I can hear myself in my headphones, which I'm doing to make sure like I don't fuck up, but like it's making me fuck up, so I have to turn it down. Anyway, I watched Kevin Steen and El Generico do their ladder war, and that kind of didn't get me into the Indies, but it gave me an idea of what the Indies was or were. And then the Daniel Bryan podcast, he talked a lot about the Indies and that sort of stuff, and I always liked Daniel Bryan, like even since his original NXT days in 2010. Like I always rooted for him because I thought he was fucking awesome. He wrestled great, and I was like, holy shit, I like this guy. Oh my god, we're branching off so hardcore already. I'm trying to talk about my podcast journey, and I've branched into Daniel Bryan and NXT. Holy shit. This is a sign of things to come, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so that was the first podcast I ever listened to, and I liked it. It helped me out a lot. Didn't help me out, but I liked it. It was awesome to listen to. So I started listening to the Art of Wrestling more and more and more and more and more, going back to watch old episodes, going to watch like the newer ones, and I still watch it, as I said. So it always, that was like the first wrestling podcast, I believe. I don't know about the first, but it's definitely like one of the innovators. Like I think that was like, before that there wasn't really sit-down podcasts in wrestling, and now there's like a shit ton, and I think Colt Cabana is partially to blame, or to credit, I suppose. It's not a bad thing. And I think everybody has a fucking wrestling podcast nowadays. Like, now I listen to a bunch of wrestling podcasts that aren't the Art of Wrestling. Like, we got the Going in Raw podcast, we got Talk is Jericho, what else do we got? We got the Raven Effect, which I guess that doesn't really count as a wrestling one because he hardly ever talks about wrestling. What else do we got? We got the Edge and Christian podcast. We got the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. We got so many wrestling podcasts nowadays, and I think Colt Cabana is to credit for that. But he always inspired me with the Art of Wrestling, so I'm like, man, like if he can do that, I really want to do that. So, in the summer of 2012, I decided, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Hey, I want to start a podcast. So I was like, okay, I don't really know how to do a podcast because I was a really stupid kid. I didn't have a microphone or anything. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. So I looked up like podcast on Google, and like the first thing that comes up is like Blog Talk Radio. And I was like, what is this Blog Talk Radio stuff? So I check out Blog Talk Radio, and then I sort of set up an account, and I call it The Dylan Show, because that's what I was going to call my podcast, The Dylan Show, which is very creative, and I give my 12-year-old self credit for coming up with The Dylan Show. If you can't hint my sarcasm, you're Stevie Wonder. So I wanted to do The Dylan Show. So I set up The Dylan Show. There's actually videos on my YouTube channel talking about The Dylan Show being a thing. So go scout those out for yourself, monkeys. I set it up for that Friday. It was like a Friday in the summer, and I was at Caleb's house, my friend at the time. Don't like him anymore. We have been so on and off, but that's a story for another day. No, it's not. I'm never going to tell that story. But anyways, I was at his house. I was going to interview him just because I'm like, I have to interview someone on a podcast. You can't just be alone, which I found out isn't really the case. So I go over to his house, and I get on the website, and I'm like, okay, so I'm assuming that we're going to get doing the podcast from the website. But apparently you had to call in. And I had no fucking idea you had to call in to do the podcast. So I'm guessing the microphone is the mic from your phone. So you were just going to call in talk through your phone is transmitted onto the website. Had no idea, so I literally just set up the date, set up the time. Nobody was going to listen to it anyway, but I fucked up. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And after that, I kind of gave up. I was like, you know what? I don't want to do a podcast. And I never really did it again after that until I believe it was 2014. I want to say it was either 2014 or 2015. I always wanted to do one. It's just like I didn't think I could. So in 2014, I got a microphone. And I planned out a podcast that I was going to do. And it was called, I believe, the Wrestling Rage Podcast. I think. I could be wrong. But it was also on Blog Talk Radio. But I bought a mic because I intended on doing, like, I don't know what the fuck I intend on doing. I honestly, it's kind of a blur. But I did it on Blog Talk Radio. And I actually remembered to call in. So I got a couple episodes under my belt. Which, who knows, maybe I'll pull them up someday and just put them on YouTube and be like, this is the original podcast. Probably not, but, I did that for, I think, 4 episodes. Talked about wrestling news, stuff like that. And it was fine. There's actually a guy that called in one episode. He's from, like, Texas. He's like, hey, my name is JD Rebel, and I'm from Texas. And I was like, oh, okay. What do you want to talk about? He's like, I don't know, man. What's going on with you? I'm like, just doing a podcast, pal. He's like, yeah, I saw you promoting it on that Facebook page. Yep, I like wrestling. Which, Yep, I like wrestling is a Facebook page. I'm like, oh yeah, you're on that page. That's cool. That's a good page. I definitely put a link to my podcast there. Thanks for coming. And then it was really awkward conversation for a little bit. And he was telling me about a wrestling company he wrestled for. I was like, oh, what's your company called? He was like, KWA. And I was like, all right, cool. Go check out his company, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I just said. And then he's like, all right, well, I got to get going. And I was like, good. I mean, okay. It was rough. It was really rough. But that was like, he called in, and I thought it was weird. I was like, holy shit, I have a fan. I didn't think anybody was watching, but holy shit. So that was cool. So that was the 2014 podcast. I ended it because I realized that Blog Talk Radio was charging my phone. Like, they were, it doesn't say anything about that on the website, but you kind of figure, like, I should have thought at the time, but it's not a toll-free number. You can't just call in and not get billed. So, I was doing 30-minute podcasts once a week, or I think I did it Mondays and Fridays, so it was like twice a week. So 30 minutes twice a week, that's an hour a week. That's some billage right there. That's my word of the day, billage. So that podcast ended after my parents whooped my ass and said, Dylan, what the fuck? There's a phone bill. You've been calling someone from California. It's like, who? What? Oh, Blog Talk Radio's from California. Oh, shit. And they billed me. That's not good. Like, that's pretty much how that went. After that, it wasn't much longer after that, because I told you I had a microphone. So I ended up just kind of using that microphone to do a podcast on YouTube called the Wrestling Rage Podcast as well. I remember this one a little bit better. I think this was actually maybe a year or so afterwards. I don't know why I took a break. I don't know, probably just ran out of ideas or whatever. I was also pretty heavily involved in HCW, and no, it would have been HCW only at that point. Although that kind of, I don't know, that's all really a blur to me as well. HCW was a big thing back then, so my time was kind of devoted to that. But I also had the podcast, so Wrestling Rage Podcast, you can actually still find that. If you go to the original HCW XWF page on YouTube and look up, well, if you're in the Google search bar, or the YouTube search bar, look up Wrestling Rage XWF, and a channel should come up that's called Wrestling Rage. Click that, you'll find the Wrestling Rage episodes, from that time period, not the old ones. Well, I mean, they're old, but they're not like the original, like, Blog Talk Radio ones. But anyway, you can go check those out. You're really not doing yourself that much of a favor, but hey, go ahead. I ended that after a little while because I have no patience, apparently, and I can't stick with one thing for good, which I'm hoping I can break that curse with this podcast. I've always wanted to do one, as I said, and I'll continue to say, I've always wanted to do a podcast, and I'm hoping this one can last, for the love of God. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure I get views and whatever on this one, and get attention for it. So let's go. So this is In the Meantime with Dylan Melanson, and as I said, I am your host. This is awesome. I'm really liking this. I'm liking having a podcast again, and I'm just hoping that this one is good. So, now that the origins of this podcast are out of the way, what am I going to be talking about on this podcast in the future? That's a good fucking question. I've said it's going to be a lot of rambling, and that is true. I've been rambling for 15 and a half minutes now. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to ramble, and that's fine. I also want to talk about some stuff. Like, I want to tell some stories. Like, stories about my past, stories about my present, stories about, not my future, but you get the idea. So I want to tell stories because I think stories are fun, especially if they're funny, which a lot of my stories are funny. I'd also like to talk about like wrestling and music. I want to talk about both those things, kind of balance between them because I don't want to go too much wrestling, too much music. It's just one or the other. Talk about them a little bit. Although wrestling is probably going to get brought up more often, just because that's what's in my mind all the time. Music, like I listen to music all the time, but I don't really think about it all the time. If that makes sense. Like with wrestling, I'm just thinking about wrestling. Like, hey, wrestling. It's just my mindset, I guess. Speaking of which, I went to a wrestling event this past Saturday, up in Miramichi. It was NWE Deception. I actually went to train, which I do to every NWE show. It was great, like it always is. I got in the ring, I took some bumps, did some up and overs, ran the ropes. Lots of cool stuff. And then it was a great night of action that followed. Lots of great matches. We had an Elite Championship match. We had a lot of great stuff on that show. It was a pretty solid card. It was main evented by a Miramichi street fight between El Fuego Dragon and NWE Heavyweight Champion Preston Carter. I guess I can tell you what happened. I don't think I'll get in trouble. It went outside. They had a kendo stick involved. Preston Carter got busted open with the kendo stick. Yowie wowie, if you will. It was a good match. El Fuego Dragon ended up picking up the win, and he is the new NWE Heavyweight Champion. So that's very cool. It was a very good match. It was a very good card in general. It was on Saturday, so I didn't get to see Double or Nothing, which was also apparently very good. From what I saw, I'm satisfied. Jericho and Omega had a great match. Apparently, I haven't seen any of the matches, but I've seen general ideas. Jericho's entrance was fucking badass. Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. I'm gonna never get that right ever. Not again. I'm just never gonna get it right. I'm always gonna say Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, not John Moxley. I'm always gonna say Dean Ambrose. Moxley's in AEW, and that's awesome. I just made the Rediscovering Moxley video not that long ago. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on my YouTube. Okay, funny story about that. Not really a story, but it kind of is a story. It's just kind of not funny. I said it was funny. It's not really that funny. So, I posted. Banned worldwide. Well, that's gay, I said. Let's go dispute this shit. Because I didn't use that much footage of WWE's, and I made sure not to. I used some FCW footage, which was iffy, but I was like, you know what? They probably won't strike me for that. Banned worldwide. Let me try to put this in a way that you guys will understand. When I make the shuffle videos, which contains only copyrighted shit, it doesn't get blocked fucking anywhere. There's ads that run on my video that I don't get money for, but it doesn't get fucking banned anywhere. This shit got banned world fucking wide, man. WWE, holy shit, your copyright, mate. We get it. Calm it down, bro. So, banned worldwide. So I dispute it, and they're like, if you dispute this, your channel could get shut down. And I was like, oh no, I did actually use some WWE shit. I don't want my channel to get shut down, but at the same time, I'm not letting this video that I just spent hours and hours working on get shit upon by the man. So I decided to dispute the claim. A few hours goes by, and all of a sudden I'm logged out of my YouTube account. And I was like, oh, fuck. There's no fucking way. Because I thought, oh shit, my channel's got shut down. I don't know why I got logged out, but I logged back in and everything was fine. And I was like, oh, that's weird. A couple days later, the John Moxley video posts, and it's on YouTube. And I don't even notice till I get back on Sunday. It's just like, oh, it's on YouTube now. That's cool. Like, I had no idea it was going to be posted, but it posted Friday like I said it was going to. Because I set up the premiere and everything, so I guess it would have premiered. So I shared it as soon as I got home Sunday, and I was like, well, it's here. Watch it. Before that, I posted on Vimeo, and it got like 50 views on Vimeo, which I thought was crazy. Like, oh my god, people actually went to watch this on Vimeo? Like, that's nuts. I don't know. I can't say I wouldn't go watch something on Vimeo. It's just, I didn't know if people would, honestly. But they did. 50 views, I'll take it. That's good for me. I don't usually get 50 views, so let's go with that. So I posted that. It went on YouTube, went on Vimeo. On YouTube right now, I will go check. I'm gonna reveal some secrets to you guys right now. I'm actually recording this on Sunday because I want to be ahead of the ball, if that is what I meant to say, which I don't think it is. What am I going on about? I'm about to go check how Rediscovering Mox is doing. But what was I talking about? Shit. Oh yeah, I'm recording this Sunday. And I'm recording this Sunday just because, like, I don't want to be behind. My Moxley video on YouTube right now has 40 views. That's pretty good. I'll take that. If it doesn't get any more than 40, I don't care. That's good. That's good for me. Some of my videos only get like 10 views, and that's really shitty. 40's fine. I'll take 40. Whatever. I gotta keep going back to this. I'm recording this Sunday just because I want to do it early. I'm probably not going to record these always on Sunday because I'm going to be posting this Wednesday. I haven't even posted. I think I'm going to do an announcement video for the podcast, like announcing that it's a thing. I haven't even posted that yet. So, I mean, I don't know. It's 9:12 right now on Sunday, so I don't know. I might not post that today. I'm not sure. We'll see. Is this... Okay, we're still in business. I was worried. I kind of tripped on my cord a little bit. Yeah, we're Gucci. Alright. Let me think here. What else do we gotta talk about? Let's look at the script here. Wrestling weekend. Let's talk about the video that was posted 2 days ago. Just because. 2 days ago, I posted my vinyl haul. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. What are you doing? Just go check it out, man. It's a good video, I swear. I promise you. There's some good vinyls in there. I'm not even going to tell you what they are. I'm just going to tell you that I got some vinyls, and you got to go watch it for yourself. So I did that. That was the Monday video. Now this is the Wednesday video, because I'm apparently a Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of guy, which, by the way, is going to have to end at some point, because I can't do that many videos, or else my brain's going to explode all over the place. So that was the Monday video. Right now, I'm going to announce what the Friday video is going to be about. And I'm going to do this weekly. I'm always going to announce my Friday video on the Wednesday podcast. Okay, I thought I heard something. So, the Friday video is going to be about... What should I do with drum roll? I'll just do it on my legs just because I don't want to mess up any audio. Things WWE needs to change. Yeah. I made a script for this video, so it should be a-okay. Should be pretty good. Home slice, home skillet. Should be good. Should be a good video. WWE, they're kind of lacking. And AEW is a big thing now. So, like, step up your game or you're going to get fucked. I think they're going to step up their game. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to. I think it's a waiting game. We gotta wait. We gotta wait. AEW, they're getting big. WWE, gonna get bigger. You watch. You watch, boy. Because AEW, despite what people think, it's not going to beat WWE. Like, be serious here. Tony Khan is a rich man, I know. He's, I think, richer than Vince. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what Tony Khan ever did to get money. I don't know. I don't know who Tony Khan is. I've never met him. I've never looked him up. I don't know. I just know his name's Tony Khan, and it's weird spelling. Khan. It's like Khan. Tony Khan. Tony Khan. I don't know. But he has a lot of money. I know. And they have a TV deal. I know. On TNT, which is the same shit WCW had. And look how they ended up. Just saying. All I'm saying is AEW is going to build a following. And they're going to get up there. Don't get me wrong. They are. But until they've proven themselves over years of time, they're not going to be able to beat the Empire, the biggest boy in the yard, WWE. They can't. They literally can't. They've been going for like 2 shows now. Like, smarten up. Like, come on. If they were like a couple years in, then yeah, sure. I don't see why not. You know, but they can't just like, oh, we're started. We're gonna beat WWE. I get that they're gonna be competition for sure, especially whenever they start their TV deal. But like, you know, they're not gonna beat them anytime soon. I don't think. We'll see. I don't think WWE's going down though, and if they are, they're not going down without a fight. So both companies should be profiting off this rather well, because it's competition. WWE is good under competition, as we saw in the 90s with the Attitude Era. I don't see why that is not a thing right now, but we'll see. We'll think about that. So that's what WWE needs to change. That's the last thing on my script. Can't just end the podcast like that, though. We gotta end it with something big. Let's talk about, I don't know. Maybe we do have to end it now. That was weird. That's a weird way to, like, I don't know why I didn't write anything else on the script. Like, that's a weird way to end it. Announcing a video for the future. I don't know. I guess it's not bad. It's fine, I guess. How about we end it with a little prayer? You know, we're all very religious Christian people here for sure. Put your hands together. If you're watching, this microphone's giving me issues, and I'm about to snap. I'm just kidding. I don't snap at microphones. Okay. Put this right here. Fix it a little bit. Aim it towards me, so that way you can hear me. Hello? Yeah, you can hear me. That was loud. I'm sorry. I just fucked your ears. So if you're watching this or listening to this, I'm sure you've all prayed at least once in your life when you were a child. Put your hands together, like this. If you're watching, you can see what I'm doing. I'm giving you a little instructional video. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to speak for a few moments. We're going to say amen. Repeat after me. Dear Lord, bless this podcast with a long and lengthy reign. Do not let it be like any of the weaker podcasts Dylan Melanson has done in the past. Let this podcast surpass any wrestling podcast on this planet, in this galaxy. Amen. That's all I got. That's what we're gonna do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for all the people I just triggered with my possibly blasphemic, possibly religious mocking prayer. I apologize. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. How about that? Anyways, folks, you just watched the first episode of In the Meantime with Dylan Melanson. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely did. We've went for about half an hour. I think that's a good amount of time. You know, I think if we go half an hour each week, That should be good. I think we could have a nice podcast with half an hour length. So, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and click the bell icon if you're on YouTube for the love of God so you know every time I post. If you are on Podbean, like, leave a comment, and follow. I think you follow on Podbean. Follow me or subscribe to me, whatever you can do. Do whatever you can. Please, for the love of God. Anywhere else, you know what to do. You know what to do. Do it. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. Do everything you can. And also, for the love of God, check me out on Instagram. Because I'm oftenly there. Oftenly. That's my new word of the day. I don't remember what the old word of the day is, but now the word of the day is oftenly. So, I'm there frequently. That's what I meant to say. I'm there daily. I'm there every single day of the week, every month, every year. Because that's what I do. I'm all about that gram. So follow me on Instagram at Project Melanson. We got some links to videos in the description. We got the Rediscovering Mox video down there. We got the Monday video down there. We got my social media stuff down there, which includes Instagram and also the Facebook page, which I forgot to mention, www.facebook.com/Project Melanson. I post there sometimes. I should post there more. Maybe this podcast is on there. Maybe. Who knows? Let's see. But in the meantime, stay beautiful, stay gorgeous, and stay dilly. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been In the Meantime. I'm your host, Dylan Melanson.